John reminded me of my grandfather. His name was Charlie Kerb. He dedicated his life to serving God, but he was very much like John Roebuck. He was very down home, a little bit folksy, but very relatable. That's one of the great successes of John Roebuck, is that he relates to people.
A good friend of mine once told me that everything you do before you turn 50 is all preparation for what you're supposed to be doing. And that kind of makes sense, because all those years of pastoring and preaching and teaching and leading groups, it kind of has really equipped me well, because part of what we do in the Kerb Center is to try to equip faith leaders to do what they do as effectively as they can. And so the idea was, how do we continue to equip men and women of faith to be relevant to those winds that blow around them? And so we're trying to help pastors and staff leaders think through that. How do you continue to relate well in the cultural context in which you live?
It's a place where we have friendships with other clergy. It's a place where we can receive training and encouragement to lead our congregations. But especially in an ever-changing world, the church needs all the help it can get. And the Charlie Kerb Center for Faith Leadership has become a place where not only our congregation can find encouragement, support from other like-minded congregations, but we can serve along beside them.
If we're really going to be the leading Christ-centered university in the world, we have to be hospitable to all. That's what Jesus taught us. It's training leaders, it's training lay people, and it's making a difference, because that's what Belmont has to be about. If we're serious about our faith as a community, as a university, and we want to form leaders of character and purpose with high integrity, the Charlie Kerb Center for leadership and faith leadership is very important to our community.
I think it's easy with churches to experience what we call mission drift, where you simply start focusing on other definitions of success. And sometimes that primary commitment to following Jesus just gets overlooked. So I think it's been, more than anything else, a reminder to ask that question that Jesus' mother asked when he was left behind in the temple: where is Jesus?
Who would have thought that on the buckle of the Bible Belt, in the midst of a Christian university, that we would be able to build a foundation for true, meaningful dialogue between Jews and Christians? And at a time when everything seems to be so divisive, when disagreement is right on everyone's tip of their tongues and right on their edge of their shirt sleeves, we're able to have these dialogues civilly, peacefully, most importantly, honestly and meaningfully. And I think celebrate and appreciate more of what each faith, Judaism and Christianity, bring to the table.
It's all about relationships. You know, religion is this expression of who we are at our deepest core. But I believe in the Christian faith, and I would say probably in other faiths as well, that in the end, we are all this image of something that is greater than ourselves. And we're all longing to belong to something, to someone, to some community. You know, what Dr. Roebuck does is puts us in conversation around real topic. And we move into this really deep kind of relationship building process this is what's on my heart. This is who I am as a person. Will you accept me for these things?
Our goal is to maintain friendships and build relationships with as many people as we possibly can, because in my opinion, it is the building of relationships on which any kind of civil and rational and sane culture lives, right? That's the hinge point. We have to create those kind of relationships. And so our goal is to be as ecumenically minded as we can among Christian denominations. I do think it begins with a sense of having an open mind, maybe an open door to your office or to your front porch, but you begin to create that physical space to let conversations begin to perk. But if you talk long enough and consistently enough, then the conversational space grows deeper, and you begin to lean into what I call relational space, where I begin to understand your world a little better, you begin to understand my world. And I think if you let that relationship space build, Then you get to redemptive space, which is really the goal of our center. How do we redeem each other's lives? How do we heal the hurts that we all feel? How do we celebrate each other's victories? How do we protect each other? How do we become an advocate for each other? That we open up our space and let others enter into that and treat them with respect and dignity and civility.